Shut up and sit down.
I am a radical libertarian.
And we don't want the government to do a damn thing.
The current state of politics is unsustainable, politically, economically.
You deserve better.
It is about supporting, platforming, and assisting the people who are out here actually doing the fight.
You just take an issue that's important to you and do something.
There you go.
You are part of that declaration against tyranny.
Because no one brings tear gas to a gunfight.
This conversation gives me a little more hope for the future.
The one, the only.
Fight for liberty.
This is the cherry on top.
This is FSM.
Hello, fighters. Welcome to another episode of Fight for Liberty Live. I'm your host, David Fight, here to get you fired up about the people out here making the world a freer place. And I am here today with one of the absolute best dudes I know in the movement and the chair of my favorite caucus in the party. But before we get into all of that, we're going to show some love to the peeps that keep the lights on. Our sponsors. First up, Blood of Tyrants Wine. If you are looking for a nice night in while also sipping the blood of your enemies and helping take down the tyrannical state, look no further than Blood of Tyrants Wine. A nice Merlot distributed by activists you know and love. Blood of Tyrants Wine is a great place to get something, to get a little buzz and also support the movement all at the same time. So go on over to bloodoftyrants.wine, use the promo code FSM to get 10% off, and help support the network, the show, and a company that, again, is run by like super cool anarchist people that I'm sure you like. So check them out. Next up, Crafton Business Services. Crafton is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs start, grow, and maintain their businesses by providing a wide variety of products and services to make your business more efficient, manageable, and profitable. And Crafton understands how frustrating getting your business off the ground can be, and that's why they've put together their business-in-a-box solutions to turn your idea or side hustle into a fully functioning company in one place for one transparent cost. So for under $1,000, you get your corporate filings, registered agent, logo, business cards, marketing strategy, and an accounting consultation, all to get you started off on the right foot for just $9.99, plus some of that evil state theft that they add on. But all of that for under $1,000. And if you already have a business, Crafton can help you grow to new levels with targeted marketing campaigns, affiliate programs, website and social media redesigns, or they can make your business less of a headache with streamlined accounting, tax prep, and compliance. All of that is at crafton.us. So go on over there, learn more, and use promo code FSM when you sign up to help support the network and the show. And if you do one of those business in a box things and use the promo code, you get a free T-shirt that is really fun. It's a cool design. So definitely go do that. Entrepreneurship through activism is a great thing. But without further ado, here today I am sitting next to a great man, the creator of the Porkfest Rave, the chairman of the Libertarian Party Emo Caucus, campaign manager for Chris Fronzak for president, the Emo AnCap, Mr. Ben Weir. Welcome to the show.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm glad to have you. I'm so happy to have you in my fucking house, dude.
Dude, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this actually worked out. Me coming to New Hampshire was such a last minute thing. Like you've been in my calendar to do this show tonight for like over a month.
Yep.
And then I was just like, hey, I'm gonna be in New Hampshire today. Why don't I just invite myself over to your house?
Yeah. Nope. We're thankful that you're here, by the way, to cover the Defend the Guard thing and be here to support that. That's a fucking really big deal, and I wish I could have been there, but I had to work all day. Work sucks. I know.
Off the bat, we're already into the lyrics. I love it. Yeah, no, it was really cool to it's weird. I've done a lot of behind the scenes politics stuff lately. And it was kind of nice to see like an in front of the scenes politics
Yeah.
thing today. This is the first time. For those of you that don't know, there was a like public hearing on the Defend the Guard legislation in New Hampshire amongst the state and federal veterans oversight committee, I believe is the and so I got to go watch that happen. And yeah, it was like actual like politicking in front of me, which I don't know, I just haven't seen in a while. I've done a lot more like campaigns and lobbying and like behind the scenes bullshit, so
Yeah,
it's fun.
no, it's the Defend the Guard movement has been very strong in New Hampshire. It's led by Derek Prue, who's a National Guardsman veteran, and he's been kind of leading the charge here. And you know, the Bring Our Troops Home people, and you know, there's people like Eric Sawyer. You know, I've contributed a little bit, like did an anti-war rally last year, and I'm doing another one in November this year. But you know, Derek Prue has been heading this thing up hardcore, and you know, we've been like phone banking, calling our state reps and legislatures, and trying to explain to them like why we should be passing the Defend the Guard bill, which for people that don't know, you know, it's just you know, it's unconstitutional to send National Guardsmen overseas to fight in a war that isn't a war. And if you told a veteran that we're not at war right now, they'd say you're fucking crazy. But Congress has never voted on war. It's their obligated duty to do so before we send National Guardsmen overseas.
Yeah.
But there's never been an official declaration of war since, I think, World War II. Yeah.
Which was brought up a couple of times at the hearing today. And yeah, basically exactly what you just said, of like, you can't tell me, because obviously most of the people on the committee are veteran. I think maybe all of the people on the committee were veterans. Only a few of them like really mentioned it. But all of them are obviously veterans of something that isn't a war.
Right.
Technically. And
Yeah.
so, you know, you've got people that are like still shell shocked from Vietnam, and technically, well, you didn't serve in a war.
No. Right. That's
That's
crazy
ridiculous.
to say, especially like since over like the last 20 years, not even including Ukraine or the current shit that's going on, just up till like basically 2020, there's been over 2 million people that have died, not just directly, but like indirectly from like, you know, the people that we've trained to go do the work for us. There's been over 20 million people displaced from their homes. To tell people we're not in any kind of official declaration of war is crazy. Nobody would say that.
Mhm.
You know, and then we have, you know, and it's just an absolute shit show. This whole thing is an absolute shit show. So, you know, we need to bring our troops home and to stop getting in other countries' business. You know, that's what it comes down to. So,
True that. So I usually like to start off with like a Liberty testimonial question, but I'm actually more curious about the emo origin story.
okay.
So what band got you hooked?
Oh my God, what was the first emo band that really got me hooked? Honestly, it was probably Emery, which is like not like probably a emo starter pack band to listen to, but I was a big follower of like a label called Tooth and Nail and Solid State, and I basically listened to all of the bands that were with them, like MXPX. We had Under Oath, Anne Berlin.
That's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Yeah, I just saw them a couple weeks ago. They were so fucking good. But you know, all these bands were incredible. But Emery really was my first like gateway into, you know, emotional alternative music that was, you know, both heavy and clean and also soft sometimes. So it was it was like a new world for me, because up to that point it was mostly just like straight punk rock, like old school punk, you know, Minor Threat, you know, even like Bad Religion, Descendants, Ramones, stuff like that. But Emery kind of just opened up this gateway into, you know, a new world. And obviously like Hawthorne Heights came shortly after, because they're very similar to like Emery. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of dove headfirst into the emo scene as soon as it started getting popular, I guess, in 05, 06. When the scene queens were reigning supreme back in the day, and the scene hair was all the emo chicks back in the day, man. Let me tell you.
Oh my god. It's a lost art. Like sideways hair thing and
the bows and the black and the pink. I don't know.
RAR XD.
Yes.
Just RAR
the
XD.
MySpace thing,
the
dude.
Entire bio
Yeah,
is just RAR
but
XD.
A lot of that died with MySpace, unfortunately. Like MySpace was like the scene central for emos, but
yeah.
I don't know. We still are. It wasn't a phase. We're still here. It's just
Facebook had your aunts and uncles on it and your grandma, and so you couldn't be quite as like. I feel like Tumblr kind of picked up where MySpace left off at really like the true expression of your emo self kind of thing.
Yeah,
but that was also still. It was a lot more like art and like nerd shit, and then porn.
Yeah, definitely a lot of porn.
I got on Tumblr because like Star Wars and Supernatural, and then like found the emo shit and the porn shit later on.
100% just got on there for porn, and sure there was some emo stuff on there as well. So I was a teenager. Come on. But
well, like I mean, maybe this is TMI. Too bad, guys. Like I've had a Tumblr. I had a Tumblr before I like really knew what porn was or was like looking for it. So it was part of the like, wait, what is this? Like stumbled upon shit at like 11 or so.
Nice.
I was just like, I was just trying to post things about Star Wars, guys.
Yeah, this is
away from me, Satan.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Free the nipple.
Free the nipple. So tell me about the Emo Caucus and kind of the idea behind it, like from the origin. Like why the Facebook group to begin with?
So last year in Reno at the Libertarian National Convention, I'm like, yo, there's so many cool caucuses. They got a caucus for everything. There's the Mises Caucus. There's the Classical Liberal Caucus. There's the.
I question whether or not either of those count as a cool caucus.
They're not. I didn't start with the cool caucuses, okay? And I'm talking about the Waffle House Caucus and the Professional Wrestling Caucus. All right, like cool shit. Mm-hmm. All right, but like there's no like niche caucus for the emo kids, which is like the biggest tragedy in the world. And you know me, man. I write sins, not tragedies.
Man, I was thinking it, but I was lighting the joint. Oh.
But yeah, man, I was like, we need a home for the emo kids. So I'm going to start the Emo Caucus. And I started a group. I talked to Otto Dassing, who's with Punk Rock Libertarians. And we, he's like, I was like, do you think this is a good idea? And he's like, send it. So we got that going. And, basically since then I've just been using it. It's just like a group to like share your favorite emo music. There's really nothing political about it at all. I don't really want to like dabble in party politics or get too involved with that. But
yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, fuck that shit. So, if I just want to like have a good place for us to go and, have a break from all that stuff, that's the Emo Caucus. So, ideally I'd like to have this be, a pipeline between the the liberty movement and the music scene, or vice versa, because there's a lot of people in the music scene that hate the government, that don't trust the government. That's how I formed a lot of my political opinions, was through punk rock when I was a young teenager. That's how I became an anarchist as a young kid, and those views still hold strong to this day.
Yeah.
So if I'm standing for people's individual freedoms and individuality, there's really like no better place to go than to the music scene, because that is literally like what most songs are about, is like anti-authoritarianism and anti-government. and being an individual.
Mhm.
So, you know, that's what sparked this, and that's what continues to help it grow. So,
I love that. I mean, he's not emo, but I had a Phil LeBon on
yeah.
a while back, actually.
Oh, dude,
that was fucking forever ago now. Jesus. And talked about how, like, rock in general has been pretty anarchist slash libertarian since its inception.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
Like the lyrics as far as like Elvis or something like that goes weren't very in line with anything political at all, but he was still like an anti-establishment figure and a very like fuck the status quo,
The culture,
fuck your
it's like
cultural
countercultural
bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah.
counterculture.
Yeah.
Yeah, rock has always been counterculture, but then you move into like the 70s and 80s, and like my dad's a big like Rush fan.
Yeah.
And it boggles my mind that there are millions of people out there that have listened to every Rush album and still voted for George W. Bush, including my dad.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's like
I can't really like explain all that. You know, it's I don't know. And then you have like I've said this on several podcasts, but like it really like this is what really blew my mind, right? Like some of my favorite punk bands growing up that were like, you know, supposedly anti-government. It turns out they're just like anti one flavor of government. And they're totally okay with one side of the government controlling your life. They're just not okay with like the one side. So when you have like bands like Rise Against and Anti-Flag and Flowbots playing at the Democratic National Convention, you should probably question that. Or Rage Against the Machine playing at stuff like that. Like you should probably question that because they're literally playing for the machine. They're playing for the establishment. And
Rage Against a very select part of the machine.
Yeah, just the one side. Just the one side of the machine. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that is because there's a difference between like anti-establishmentism and anti-governmentism and like actual libertarianism. And I think a lot of people aren't actually anti-authority, they're anti-stupid authority. Right.
Yes,
like even like a lot of
they're
kids,
fed up. They're
like,
fed up.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of things about our government that doesn't make sense and is just stupid, and you can make fun of it very easily, but you can see all of that and say all of that and point all of that out while still fundamentally believing in the American system and in government and in all of that shit, like still buying into that core lie. And I think that's where a lot of those bands are, where, you know, America's been good to them. Like, why should Rage Against the Machine actually rage against the machine? The machine made the millionaires.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have that much to really be mad about anymore. And I think, like, yeah, there's a lot of things about, like, Bush or Trump or just, like, the police that you can talk about, but it's another jump to actually say that's because a government will always be bad.
Yeah.
And they don't get that part, and that's why they're like, that's why COVID was so effective at like bringing people back into the fold of authoritarianism, because it was like, well, this isn't stupid authority, this is for the good of humanity.
We're protecting
authority,
everybody.
Yeah, this is for grandma authority. And like, I don't know, there was just enough truth to that to really just get a bunch of people to go, oh my god, okay, yeah, no, we'll listen this time.
Right.
But
I mean, yeah, like it really like you know, I mean, honestly, the George Bush era, if it did anything, it made some really fucking good punk rock music. I will say that. I will say that it made some really good fucking punk rock. And that turned into the Obama years, which turned into really shitty punk rock. Because it was just more of the more of the fucking same. You know, Obama was not a good president. He got us into even more wars than George Bush did. He dropped even more bombs per year than George Bush did. They're both shitty fucking people. But literally, like, dropping bombs on third world countries and committing genocide on a daily basis. But, you know, you don't fucking think about that, unfortunately, because we get to fucking go home and watch YouTube and check our Netflix and just veg and ignore what's happening across the world. So
yeah. Well, I mean, plus because you can't criticize him or else you're racist.
Who, George Bush?
Or Obama.
Yeah, fuck that honky, dude. I'm just fucking with you.
I honestly think that take was one of the things that, like, that was a big red pill for me, was getting called racist for just disagreeing with policy of Obama at what, 12? 13?
You were 13 years old for Obama, bro?
08, I would have been. Yeah, I would have been 12.
I'm an old man, dude.
I would have turned 12 a month after the 08 election, actually.
Wow. That's the year I graduated. Jesus.
But yeah, so I didn't pay too much attention in 08, but I was like very bought in 2012. I was like a huge Mitt Romney fan.
Really?
Well, I wasn't a Mitt Romney fan per se. I liked his policies for the most part, and I was a fan of the way that he started his career. The whole, like, entrepreneur into politician thing.
Yeah.
Before Trump ruined that entire, like, thought process and idea 4 years later, like, when Mitt Romney did it, I actually, like, that's why I went into business instead of politics, was because I was like, I think I'm going to do it like he did it, and like try to help people through business instead of trying to do the, like, city council to state rep to state senate to like, I'm just going to, like, do cool shit over here and then skip some of those steps.
Yeah, I never was on the Romney train, but like, to be fair though, like, at that time I was definitely like a Ron Paul supporter, dude. But, like, to me, I was just like, this dude's fucking mentally ill. Like, he's a Mormon. Like, I can't do it.
I will add, I didn't pay attention until after the primary was over, so I still had no idea who Ron Paul was at the time.
I mean, a lot of people, you know, it's kind of niche, I guess, at this point. But
I vaguely, so I was homeschooled, but we did like a co-op thing. So, like, the dude that taught a lot of, like, the history and econ type classes at the co-op had a Ron Paul bumper sticker on the minivan, and I very much remember that, and I remember him talking about Ron Paul, but there was, like, a huge disconnect where, like, I was a member of the LP, and then somebody was like, oh yeah, Ron Paul, and I was like, my brain was like, oh my God, like, connected a bunch of dots.
Yeah.
But I did not come in through Ron Paul, even though I knew the name.
I didn't come into the party through Ron Paul, by the way. Like, I voted for Ron Paul, but I did not join the Libertarian Party until 4 or 5 years ago. And that was, like, really, you know, at a time where I was like, okay, like, I kind of want to make a local political difference. And this is the third party. This is the fuck you vote. So I'm going to, you know, I had called myself a libertarian, but I was sick and tired of just complaining about shit on Facebook. And I was like, I need to make a difference. I don't want to be just another person on the two-party system that just complains about everything and doesn't do something. So you know, so I did. I joined the Libertarian Party, and I got pretty involved right away. You know, getting involved with, like, county affiliates and organizing people to just do meetups at bars and hang out and talk shit about the government, because, I mean, we don't have enough of that going on. But
yeah, there's such a negative connotation to the idea of the LP being a social club.
Yeah.
which I agree with every point that is normally made along with that negative connotation. However, it being a social club is a really important part of it too.
Yeah, like the community aspect of being a political party is fucking huge. There's a reason that the other, like, this is not the only reason other political parties are very effective, but like there is a community aspect that is very important and often overlooked. We need to be able to get together and shoot the shit and talk with each other about this stuff, about what we agree with, about what we don't agree with, because it is it's a completely, it's one of those things like especially like I grew up in a very right-wing household, and so it, very like fundamental Baptist household, where politics and religion were very intertwined, which means that the church was also very intertwined with politics, and
which makes what's going on right now really murky.
Yeah, it's really fucking murky right now, man. Not sure where we're gonna go with that, but it's just like going back to the community thing and just talking to people. Like, I mean, obviously the churches are talking about it. I mean, I'm not as familiar with the left side of things. I haven't participated in a lot of left side events, but same time, like I kind of avoided the political spectrum since the time I was a teenager. I really have been completely disgusted and by the left and right wing stuff that goes on, and I don't consider myself left or right. I definitely I did appreciate a lot of what Gary Johnson did back in 2016 with the whole fiscally conservative, socially liberal thing, where he's like socially accepting of people, but when it comes to money, you're more responsible. I thought that was like a smart approach. I definitely resonated with that campaign for that reason. I hated Bill Weld, but I still don't understand that fucking move. But
I didn't know enough about that. I joined the party. I joined the party because of that campaign.
Yeah.
And like the two-term Republican governors from Democratic states, like that line, so is the reason I joined the party. Basically, was like I was like, holy shit, this is like a real thing.
Yeah,
this is like a real party that's gonna do like real things, that has like real politicians
working
on
it.
Now I know that that's not true.
I don't think
sunken cost fallacy.
At least take off my jacket,
and it's like.
At least take off my jacket.
We're halfway there, guys.
We're halfway there. You get the pants and another 25, guys. Come on. Share it with your buddies. Yeah, I mean, I did like support with like the Gary Johnson campaign in that way. People say the what is Aleppo thing was like a smoking gun, but like that was nothing.
Yeah,
he
answered the question.
Where Aleppo was.
He knocked the answer out of the fucking park. Actually,
yeah.
He just had a brain fart.
Yeah.
And like he was fucking stoned.
He was stoned. Every fucking interview he had, he was fucking stoned, which was like.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take back what I just said about like the two-term governor thing. The reason I'm a libertarian is I saw that clip when he's on that panel and they say that like you're 100 times more likely to have a heart attack within an hour of consuming marijuana, and then he just like collapses on the stage. Have you not
seen
that? My god!
How have I not seen this?
Absolute favorite things.
Amazing.
Exists. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna pull it up.
That's
while
great.
We talk about something else. But yeah, that like him being a goofy stoner, guns and drugs in the same party. That's what really sold me.
Guns and drugs.
I didn't smoke yet. I didn't smoke until like 2018, I think.
I was older. I was a little older when I started smoking too.
Maybe not quite that late.
I didn't start smoking until I started touring with my band. So
that makes sense.
First time I ever smoked pot was in Las Vegas hotel, which was like the best time I could have ever done it. So
That sounds like a great time. Jesus Christ. I searched Gary Johnson, and the first thing that comes up is Gary Johnson Aleppo.
Of course it was. But
Fucking hell. So tell me, how did you manage to talk a rock star into running for president?
It really wasn't that hard because most rock stars hate the government. They really do, especially over the last couple of years. And, basically back in June, I was like, who's running for president right now? Who could I possibly get behind on any of the parties? There was none. The Libertarian Party had some pretty, in my opinion, weak candidates. So I'm like, who could I recruit from my scene, the music scene, to run up against these people? So I shot off a couple emails to some, more well-known musicians, and they hadn't gotten back to me right away. And I ended up recruiting a couple other people to run for president. And then eventually Chris Fronzak did get back to me. He said, I'm down. I am 100% down. So Franz was like, I'm all in. Let's do this. And I'm like, sweet. Let's fucking make it happen. So, yeah, Chris Franz from Attila, he is running for president on the Libertarian Party ticket. And it's going to be fucking great. It's been great already. Honestly, his announcement video got over 2 million views. So that's a really big accomplishment. Just happened within the last month or so. And right now we're working to develop, get his team together so that we can try to, do some cool shit in 2024. So.
Fuck yeah. I have heard so much, so many people that are super hyped about the idea of this campaign. One of my absolute best friends called me the day he announced and was like, dude, what? Are you serious? Running for the Libertarian Party nomination? No less?
Well, and I played a Warped Tour in 2015, and Attila actually played that year as well. I don't recall actually meeting Franz at that time, but obviously, eventually I was able to get in contact with him and make the connection to ask him to run for president. But yeah, he's in. He's he's a cool ass dude. So,
fuck yeah. So what's the strategy?
What is the strategy? Well, the strategy is basically to get as many people that don't like the government to start voting for either the fuck you vote or just start voting in a way that is better for everybody's individual freedom. No matter which side of the aisle they fall on, they should recognize the individual as a divine thing and respect people's individuality, no matter what their opinions are. So that's what it comes down to for me. And I think that's one of the most important things is getting the idea of no matter what side you fall on, the cult wars that are happening in the mainstream media to put people against each other, that shit, that's not gonna work. I mean, it does work for them, but it keeps everybody at war all the time. But if we actually want peace in the world, we have to respect each other as individuals, and we need to. I think really that's what a lot of music is about, is individuality and unique opinions on that. So yeah, that's kind of one of the goals, but we're grinding it. We're making it work, bro.
Fuck yeah. All right, so let's see if this will actually be nice to me and play. This was genuinely one of my favorite moments in all of politics. If it'll play, come on.
Let's talk about marijuana. You have a 1 in 5, a higher chance of having a heart attack within the first hour after you smoke marijuana. There are legitimate side effects of this drug. The THC, when in the 60s, you know,
That's awesome.
I think the
Fucking
governor
Gary
has had
Johnson.
great fun with his
Gary
humor.
motherfucking Johnson.
But this isn't a
How
funny.
come people
it
hate
isn't
this fucking
funny
man?
That we're putting
Like,
our
this guy's,
kids and the future of this country
guy's
at risk.
awesome.
It's not funny. It is something that
I
we
love
as
the
Americans
face
have
he
got to
makes
take.
there,
We got to pay attention to.
He's like,
Oh my god, I love it. Yeah, genuinely one of the best moments in politics, in my professional opinion. But
if you're a New Hampshire homeowner, then 2023 is.
Stop talking.
Stop talking.
I hate it. Whenever I do the like browser source thing, it'll just like autoplay the next video on YouTube after I always forget to like pause it. I just like close out of everything and hide it, and then it'll still just like play somewhere in the ether that's like not actually anywhere on my screen, and I do that too often. But yeah, no, Gary Johnson was fucking legit. And I think the LP provides an interesting ability to, like, I mean, this is like an overly stated point, but like a presidential campaign is something that the people are going to pay attention to regardless. Like, people who have never listened to his music, never given a shit about anything he has to say, and thinks he's an absolute fucking moron, still read Kanye's presidential platform.
For sure. I mean, you know, and with Franz, like, he's a good, solid dude, man. Like, he actually has like really based takes, you know. You know,
not to equate him to Kanye at all.
He's not the
that's
same as
not
Kanye, you know. Yeah. Like, he's definitely not, you know, into the. He hasn't gone full Nick Fuentes or anything like that.
No, but I like Hitler.
Yeah, that's retarded. But so I don't know. Like, I think that, like, you know, he's a solid dude. He's been very countercultural his entire fucking career, because like people have tried to cancel him his entire career over a million different things. And you know, at this point, there is a countercultural movement that I guess could be described as woke. They claim that they're countercultural, and then like the right will claim that they're countercultural. But like, I think the play here is to be countercultural. So like, fuck both of those motherfuckers. Let's just go back to being individuals and respecting each other. And I don't think that's a fucking crazy idea, man. Like, you know, I've been going out to a lot of concerts and going to like emo nights and just a bunch of shows, and I'll stand outside afterwards. And I usually wear a vest that says like anarchist and live free or die and all this shit. And people will like talk to me and like ask questions about it and like say, "Oh, you're an anarchist?" Like, "Oh, me too." But you know, I'll talk to these people and they're like, they're sick of the government's bullshit, man. Like, they just need a place to go. They know that the system is corrupt and that it's not able to be fixed, and obviously, you know, even with a third party system, it's not going to fix the problems necessarily, but at least like it takes away from the two-party vote, which is like, you know, obviously the saying is, you know, vote for the lesser of the two evils when both sides are evil.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But you know, I don't know. I think that, you know, when you go out and actually meet people and talk to them and address their concerns, that people are way more libertarian and way more anti-government in real life than what the numbers in the polls will tell people.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. And I think the problem is, I think a lot of them kind of fit into a similar category to like what I was saying earlier about like Rage Against the Machine, where like they're like almost there, but the part of like
there is no fixing, and government itself is the problem.
Yeah.
Is something that hasn't clicked with everyone yet.
Right.
But we don't need that to click with them for them to vote Libertarian.
Right. No,
or to volunteer for the Firearms Policy Coalition, or like we don't need people to be fundamentalist libertarians.
Nope, they don't need to be fucking perfect people, man. Like, I'm not asking for people to come in here and be perfect individuals on policy. We just need to stand united against the number one evil, the monopoly on violence for the world, which is the United States government. We're like literally like facilitating genocide in a large portion of the country, and like the only way that shit's gonna end is if the people stand up against it, man. Like, things like Defend the Guard need to pass. Obviously, that's still not gonna fix the fucking problem, but we need to go back to where we were, like, I guess during like the Vietnam War, where the United States citizens stood up against the government, and there was enough people out in the streets fighting back against the war machine that they pulled the fucking troops.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I'm having an anti-war rally on November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. You know what I mean? I hope everybody comes out in Guy Fawkes masks, and that we can go to the Concord State House in New Hampshire and stand there with hundreds of fucking people and show at least our government, the people who are around us right now, that war is not fucking popular. Like, we're all fucking sick of it. If you ask people on the left or the right if they want to be out of the Middle East and out of Ukraine, like, they probably won't fucking talk about Ukraine, but like, absolutely they're like, oh yeah, we're done with the Middle East. Like, that was so 20 years ago, man.
Yeah.
But the truth is, even though we withdrew from Afghanistan, we're still there. We're still at war with 6 countries in the Middle East, and people don't even fucking know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's really fucking crazy, man.
We've gone to war with 22 countries since the AUMF, is that the right acronym?
Yeah.
In 01. 22 countries. Most people think it's like 5. Most people think it's like Iraq, Afghanistan,
Pakistan.
Like maybe a couple other stands that they don't know about.
Yeah, no. We're still like in like fucking Yemen and Niger, like Somalia. Like, it is crazy, man. And that's not even like those are just the countries that we're like actively bombing. All right. We have a military presence in every country in the world. All right. Yeah. So, I'm an anti-interventionist. Obviously, like, I'm very against government interventionism, but at the same time, I'm not an isolationist. I know we got to work together with people, be a little bit pragmatic, but I am of the opinion that the best defense is a good offense, not the best offense is a good defense. So I think if you really want to be America first, we need to get our troops home, and we need to protect ourselves. And we need to stop dabbling in other countries' political affairs.
Yeah, 100%. And you brought up like the people in the streets in like the 70s and it actually being successful for Vietnam. One of the big things that I subjectively think tipped the tides was the addition of a lot of like really famous people to that movement.
100%.
Like you've got like the iconic like Beatles rooftop concert for peace or whatever the fuck. Like so many of those types of things. You had like weekly marches in Washington Square in New York where that would like they would march all throughout Manhattan and end up at like basically a huge fucking festival in Washington Square for the rest of the weekend, and it would be like a bunch of concerts and a bunch of drugs and a bunch of hippies hanging out and just like, we're not leaving till you bring the troops home, basically.
Right. And that's what we fucking need today.
Yeah.
That is 100%. Like, but instead of standing up against the fact that we've killed over 2 million people in the Middle East and displaced over 20 million, and we're still actively bombing the shit out of people since 2020, and we're obviously funding other stuff in like Ukraine, and now sending more money to like Israel, and it's just like it never fucking ends.
Hamas,
it never fucking ends, man. But like, instead of having our most famous people stand up against this stuff, and I'm not saying like we need to like pay actors to say shit. I'm saying like I wish more actors would just fucking speak up, because like nobody agrees with this. Nobody thinks this should be a thing unless they're a fucking robot. And if we could just have some of these people stand up and fight this instead of the woke countercultural or woke bullshit, or even on the other side of things, there's some fucking crazies like fucking Andrew Tate, idiots.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, but even Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
If we could just have some more people fucking speak up and make it popular in the public eye to speak up against war and the war machine, that could fix a lot of fucking problems. So.
Yeah, no, 110%. And the thing is, like, I'm gonna get so much hate for this one. At the beginning, being woke was the right thing to do. Like the origins of wokeism were morally pure, and a lot of the celebrities that stood up as like woke people in like 2004 and like at least like pre-2010, like that was in my mind fairly similar. Like the people who were actually just like calling out, even like the beginnings of like the Me Too movement, where we're just like, a bunch of people just being like, all right, no, we have enough power, enough influence, and enough whatever to change some shit, and if we just like band together, we can do that. And then I don't know what the fuck happened. Cause like at the beginning, it was not profitable to be woke. It was not
it was
accepted. It wasn't.
It was countercultural.
Yeah. To be like anti-racist in 2003 was still kind of like hard to do in like Hollywood or New York City, like music scenes or something like that.
In nowadays, there's like, okay, people call people, people that I know very well associate woke with just being a left thing, right? But the absolute truth of the matter is the people on the right are woke in their own fucking way.
Yeah.
The people on the right side of the fucking political spectrum, they are very fucking woke. They're just woke about very different things and in a different way. Obviously, like, the definition of that should be interpreted differently for both people, but I don't know. It's like you can literally use the same word to describe both sides of the spectrum. It just is. It's kind of crazy that it's only one-sided, but
yeah. And because like, and I think that it's one of the areas where kind of, especially our generation of celebrities, really like did something that the last two generations didn't do. Like the Beatles did it, and then like no one in between really, like, AC/DC wasn't, and like Black Sabbath weren't doing like political things, and like George Strait wasn't doing like political shit, except for like Toby Keith had like war propaganda songs. So, like, that's
dude, you know what like gets me, dude, is like the right like champions Bruce Springsteen, born in the USA, right? That dude's bisexual, bro. like 100% that dude's bisexual. And like the right side of things, like they would not support that. Bruce Springsteen is very anti-conservative as well. So like,
one of the worst.
It's so funny that song was playing at like Trump rallies and shit, man.
So great. But like I was really proud of our generation, especially the child stars of like the tail end of the millennials, especially like the like Miley Cyruses and Demi Lovato's of the world, and like a lot of that age group, and like Zendaya, and like there's a bunch of people that fairly early in their adult lives decided that they were going to funnel as much of their influence and money as they could into something that they believed in, and you know, or started charities and shit, stuff that like the older generations did after they started to die off and like got bored of everything else. Like our generation was doing that at like 19.
To be honest with you, like I honestly think back in the day, in the 80s, 90s, it was like much less popular probably to get on some kind of like political hype train. You know, after like the Vietnam War and after all that stuff settled down, I think in the 80s people just wanted to be like anti-government. But like to be on a political hype train was very unprofitable, probably. Maybe I'm wrong, but then like more recently, I do think it's become actually profitable to choose one side. You know, and I think that's like, that is part of it. And I'm not going to say like all these people standing up against this stuff were doing it for the right reasons all the time. But same time, yeah, I'll give them props where it's due. Like they were definitely speaking their minds when it was against at least unpopular to 51% of people. I'll say that.
Yeah. I think, my favorite band, AJR, has a line in one of their songs that's it literally goes, "Stay out of politics to keep half your fans."
That's what it is.
And like the song is kind of about that whole like you know, it's not polite to talk about religion and politics kind of like mindset that we were all taught as kids. But like that line is killer. And like what used to happen was that celebrities would attach themselves to like a social thing that wasn't actually political at all, and it would be like, whether it was like, you know, feeding starving kids somewhere.
Oh, dude, I remember, dude. I mean, like, who doesn't remember the Arms of an Angel puppy commercial?
Right. Even that. I mean, that shit. That shit, I'm sure, was just for money, because I know that she makes so much money.
So much fucking money, yeah.
Like she makes money every time they run that ad. Every time. Because I used to work for the Humane Society, so I've actually done digging into the ASPCA's like finance shit, and the amount of money like every time you donate to the ASPCA, a little bit of that is still going to Sarah McLachlan for that fucking ad.
Nice.
But yeah, it's now like they've really like won us over on the like the duopoly bullshit, and because they had politics cornered with the duopoly for a while, right? Like we've had a two-party system basically since the inception, and they've used that against us since the like fucking John Adams and the Sedition Act, like, and it's trying to like lock up Democratic Republican journalists, like, but there was still this like non-political, just like social change thing that was able to be, you could do that without picking a side in politics, without touching politics at all, and now you just can't.
I mean, it is like I think that's like, in terms of like actual art and changing the culture, if you want to facilitate change in the culture, it is absolutely not happening through a politician or a policy. It's happening through art and through music. That's how you fucking change the culture. And if we want to change the culture, we need to embrace that idea, and through art and through music, actively work towards, creating a freer society, and standing up against the government and against the status quo, against the two-party system, and that's what it comes down to. Like I don't think that there's another route to go if you want to impact the culture. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I have been ignoring the chat, and there's actually stuff up in here.
Nice.
Oh, and most of it's about you taking your clothes off.
Oh, you guys want me to take off my pants? I already took off my jacket.
Yeah, now do the pants.
Oh shit.
Did
we hit 50?
Why are all the ladies here? Not quite. You guys got to share this out more.
Y'all thirsty. You didn't hit 50. You did not hit 50 live viewers, guys. I will absolutely take off these fucking pants if you guys get us to 50 before the end here. But not looking good, guys. Come on, step up your game. Yes, take them off. Force mommy. Come on. You don't even have to wait for a fucking podcast. Come on, just ask me. Just DM me, dude. I'm just kidding. Oh shit.
Oh my god.
White people are the fucking worst.
White women must be stopped.
Repeal the 19th. Revoke their Twitter privileges as well. I'm just kidding. No, we need Force Mommy on Twitter.
I specifically clipped this great bit from Dave Smith's interview on my show a couple weeks ago, where he's talking about like the point he's making is great in context, but the clip that I pulled is like horrific if out of context, and it's beautiful because he's talking about like the right-wing trad chicks online that are like, you know, women shouldn't have rights and women should just shut up, and he's like, okay, then fucking shut up. I clipped it beautifully where he's just basically sounds like he's telling women to shut up and go back to the kitchen. It's beautiful.
That's hilarious. Just make me a sandwich, okay? No, just kidding.
I mean, I do love sandwiches. They're
TBH, he's staying at my house tonight. We might make each other sandwiches later. I'm not really sure what's going on here. You know.
DMs are open though if you guys want.
Jesus. White people are the absolute worst.
So tell me how are we going to get more people like Chris to be like playing concerts at state conventions?
Okay, so I'm actively working to create a network of musicians that are countercultural. That like if something like 2020 happened again, we could still have entire tours or festivals of shows that it wouldn't impact these people's lives. That was like one of the shittiest things about 2020 is that it literally like shut down people's lives. Like they weren't allowed to perform. These people need that like economy to survive. So, you know, I'm creating like a network of musicians that are willing to stand up against, you know, the establishment and what they're pushing down on us, no matter what side that is, and just keep pushing forward. So, you know, we've already got some pretty popular musicians that have signed on. I got a few when I was at Furnace Fest in Alabama a few weeks ago to kind of buy into this idea of like a network or a coalition. And, you know, and obviously Chris Fronzak kind of helped me get this off the ground because he's the first dude to jump in on like running for president and do all this stuff and you know, stand up against things. So, you know, next stop, Ronnie Radke, Falling in Reverse, and fucking Post Malone, hopefully. So if we can get Posty to run for president in 2028, bro, game over.
I actually, I was listening to, I got through like half of his episode on Rogan driving over here.
Dude, Post Malone is based as fuck.
Dude, yeah. Post Malone was explaining, like, Post Malone brought up MK Ultra to Joe Rogan.
Dude, he's actually very fucking libertarian, bro. Like, he's out there with his, like, fucking ARs all the time. Like, he's very, like, pro-gun, pro-free speech. He's also been People have attempted to cancel him multiple times for whatever fucking reason. But he's just a cool ass fucking dude, man. I don't know a single person that wouldn't want to just like sit in a room with Post Malone for like 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because I was watching or listening to the Rogan episodes in reverse order because like I started off with Jimmy Carr because I was already almost done with that, and that's only like 2 days old. And then I scrolled back and saw that Louis J. Gomez, the owner of Gas Digital, was on like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like I love his shit. And I knew that it was like right before Skankfest, so I wanted to see if they were going to talk about that at all. Nice. And in that, Rogan was going off about how great Post Malone was, and I was like, "Oh shit, right! I did see something about that." So then I went and found that next, and then I crossed the state line into New Hampshire, and then reception was like, yeah, right.
Fuck you. I know what that's like.
I literally, like, I got to Keene, and then I got out of Keene, and my phone was like, you're just on your own until you get to Concord. And if you make a turn and try to make me, like, recalculate, you are fucked. Because you don't know where you are.
No, dude. Yeah, no.
I haven't done the drive that I did this morning in 3 years. Like Keene to Concord is something that I did a bunch of times in 2019.
Wait, what's that camp in Halloween that people go to? What's it called? Camp, whatever.
Fuck.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, but like if you make a wrong turn in New Hampshire off the highway, you lose reception. No, you're fucked, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're gonna end up.
Yeah.
So Michael Myers is gonna be at your doors.
I pulled over into what I thought was a road that I was just trying to like pull over real quick.
I'm kidding, by the way. New Hampshire's the second safest state in the entire country. You should fucking move here. So
yeah, I mean, at least the things that happen here, no one finds out about.
Yeah. What he said.
But yeah, I like pulled off to, I think like, never mind, I'm not going to finish that sentence. Pulled off to do something that required both hands. And,
oh God, not that.
Jesus. And I realized that I pulled into like the driveway of some like fucking weird, like really creepy campground. And I was like, I need to get though.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
you're gonna die.
Yeah, no,
you stay there. Yeah, for sure. No. Yeah. So, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you didn't die on your way here. Same time, like I said, New Hampshire's second free. It is the freest state in the country. It's also the second safest state in the country. Stay strapped or get clapped. Fucking move here.
Fuck yeah. So let's talk more about bringing the liberty movement into the music scene.
Sure.
Because like this is something that I've been wanting to see happen for a while, and when you pitched the majority of this idea to me at PorkFest, and I was like, yeah, like
yeah,
like hell yes. Like I have absolutely zero of the know-how or connections or anything to do any of it. But it's something that I've talked about on the show almost since the beginning of the show.
But like, why hasn't, like, here's the thing, is like, yeah, but like nobody's like tried really, made a real effort. So I'm like, this is like my scene, man. Like I used to tour all the time. I've been through 40 states with my old band. I played at Warped Tour. I played huge festivals with some of the biggest bands in the fucking world that'll go down as some of the biggest bands ever to exist. And like, these people are anti-establishment, anti-government, and there absolutely should be a pipeline between the liberty movement, which I don't just consider the Libertarian Party. I consider liberty people who are pro-individual freedom and, respect people's individuality no matter what side of the spectrum they fall on. And we can agree to disagree on a lot of things, but as long as like you agree to let this person like live and let live, I think we're good for the most part. We can work out the details when we get there, but truthfully, I think there needs to be a way to reach out to the people in the music scene that hate the government, that need a fuck you vote. So that's why I started the Emo Caucus. Like, I want to go out, go to shows, and talk to people in real life, and shake their hands and meet them and figure out what they fucking care about. And I'm going to go to festivals, and I'm going to start tabling music festivals, like some of the bigger music festivals, and advertise this movement as the fuck you vote, a way to stand up against oppression, against the monopoly on violence that is enacting genocide and just stealing your shit through extortion and through taxes, and confiscating almost half your income through that. Standing up against the establishment through voting. The only smart anarchist is an anarchist who fucking votes, man. And like, I know that sounds fucking crazy, and a lot of other anarchists are gonna say I'm fucking crazy. I've been an anarchist since I was fucking 16, man. And I think that anarchists should be the predominant voice in promoting individual freedom. That's why I ran for sheriff last year. That's why I'm gonna fucking run again next year. It's just one of those things. We need to stand up for ourselves, and the best way to do that, I think, is by promoting individuality and personal freedom. So,
fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Jesus. There's so much to go off of that. I feel like, to your point, no one's really tried this. And no one's really tried this for any of the things.
You're right.
A lot of people understand the difference between the party and the movement.
Yeah.
But the problem is the movement is like unofficial.
Sure.
The liberty movement is an idea.
It's
like
an idea.
Antifa.
Yes. You compared the liberty movement to Antifa just now, bro? I am triggered. What?
I mean, in the whole, like, it's not an organization, it's
sure.
just an idea.
No, it's just an idea. Yeah, right. I get you.
But that needs to change. Like, I'm not saying that we need an actual like organization over but it needs to be organized and working together the way that the Democratic and Republican machines work, because it's not just the party for either of them either. Like, they have their celebrities, they have their charities, they have their PACs, they have their community leaders, they have their but it's
in
all
my opinion,
a
that
machine.
is probably the goal of the party is to organize the liberty movement. Sure. Obviously there's stuff that would work outside of that, which would, like, in my opinion, the Emo Caucus is not like really like while we are like a caucus of the Libertarian Party, we're not exclusively promoting the Libertarian Party. In fact, like, we haven't really talked about the Libertarian Party much at all. We just talk about emo music, and we are just a group of people who enjoy emo shit and like to cut our wrists and black our eyes every once in a while. And take off our pants and jacket, at least our jacket.
You guys have let me down.
Sorry, guys. I mean, you needed 50. We got halfway. You got the jacket off, guys. All right.
Coming soon to OnlyFans.
Yeah. We don't need any more OnlyFans people running for president.
Ooh, also the most boring state in the country.
Bro, who fucking said that, bro? Oh, fuck.
He thought through what he was going to say there.
The most boring state in the country. You have not lived until you've been in New Hampshire during foliage season, bro. Okay? It's dope here right now, so...
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm a little bit pissed that I chose to do the drive in the dark, because that was dumb.
Yeah, but hopefully you'll drive back in the lights.
Yeah, hopefully, because this is the perfect weekend to drive from Maine back to New York.
Literally, this weekend is peak foliage. The leaves are changing here in New Hampshire, and like I said, it is the freest state in the country. So places like fucking Massachusetts shouldn't talk shit. So that's all I have to say.
Does Massachusetts even like acknowledge
Massachusetts?
your existence?
We don't really recognize their existence. We actually would prefer there to be a wall between the two states. So
I've heard a lot of shit about Massachusetts from New Hampshire people. Everyone I know from Massachusetts shits on like New York or New Jersey. And none of them give a shit about New Hampshire.
Here's the
in any
truth,
way, shape,
okay?
or form.
The only recognition I'm going to give the state of Massachusetts is its history. The Boston Tea Party that sparked the revolution, sure. Okay. But like before that, there was a little thing called the Pine Tree Riot, which my new music project is named after, Pine Tree Riot. It literally sparked... Yeah, it is based. It's based as fuck. So, the Pine Tree Riot that happened in Weir, New Hampshire, led to the Boston Tea Party, which led to the Revolutionary War, which led to a fucking America. So, you could give New Hampshire some props, okay? We're a little tiny fucking state. We don't have the most people, but we got some good history, okay? Okay, that's all I'm saying. All right.
Did you just turn Italian somehow?
I turned a little Italian. That's how you fucking speak to people who are in Massachusetts. They need a little Italian love. So
I usually just speak to them like that.
Yeah. Right. They give me the peace symbol. I give them.
Now, see, Massachusetts pretends like it was the birthplace of the revolution, but when England was like, "Hey, you guys have fucked up. We're gonna send troops now," they sent them to New York.
Sure.
Not Massachusetts.
Yeah, and you know what, dude? They were also like the royals over there. They were like, "Fuck you! Any tree that's 10 inches or bigger in diameter, you need to pay us a tax on that shit." And New Hampshire, New Hampshire, the lumber mill was like, "Fuck you! I'm not paying." So when they sent the constable,
really Weir, New Hampshire?
In Weir, New Hampshire.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I thought you were doing that whole like ask and answer your own thing earlier.
No, dude, like, this is a real fucking thing, dude. It's like called Weir, New Hampshire. Weare. And they went to the lumber mill in Weir, New Hampshire, and they were like, "Yeah, you need to fucking pay us." They were like, "Fuck you, no." So the constable and the deputy, the sheriff or whatever, went to the lumber mill to arrest the fucking owner of the lumber mill, and he's like, "Nope." So they arrested the deputy constable, put him in jail overnight, and burned all the lumber down. So, and that led to the Boston Tea Party eventually. So, same type of people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to go.
The chat was probably lit as fuck just now. I don't know what was happening over there. But clearly, they
words are hard. That's the last one.
Okay.
Words are hard. I love that.
Tax D's nuts. That's right. Tax D's nut. I love it. I'm gonna ignore the rest of it because I'm from Massachusetts. But
yeah, scum.
Hey, Colorado's, what's up, though? Colorado's dope.
I mean, we were just talking about that. Like, that's Colorado's on my list of places to move. Massachusetts is not.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, truthfully, I feel like when it comes to the music scene, and I'm not saying like I'm trying to infiltrate the music scene. The music scene already has a lot of people who are anti-establishment, anti-government. I was one of them. I've been in the system. I know what it looks like. I've talked to fucking people on a real level. A lot of these people are actually fucking scared to get canceled, man, to just speak their opinion, you know? But if we had some kind of like union to bring all these people together, so that they're not afraid to speak their opinion, so that like if shit hits the fan and like there was just like a massive cancel culture movement where like they're just like, I'm just gonna like cancel every fucking musician that speaks his mind type of thing. No, like we should have people should be allowed to say what they fucking want no matter what it is.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if it's against everything I stand for. They should be able to fucking say it, and they should be able to promote that and do what they fucking want. I might not agree with it, but people can like listen to and facilitate the growth of whatever the fuck they want. That's called free market capitalism, and the market will decide who succeeds and who doesn't.
Yeah,
that's how that works. Includes music scene. So
Yeah, I mean, I won't like name names and talk people's business, but like we have a mutual friend that like has both a liberty like activism-ish career and a music career, and is actively getting canceled in their music career because of their political career, and like that's a real thing that's happening. Like, yeah, I understand that people would be terrified of something like that. Like, it's really, cancel culture has gotten way too powerful. Like, I agree with cancel culture in theory as like a thing.
Yeah.
Because like in anarchy, it's really the only weapon you've got.
Right. Right. Sure. Like, yeah, like don't associate with things that like you don't agree with.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, like the anarchist solution to basically like all of the other things is basically just glorified cancel culture.
I mean, the problem is though. I mean, if you look at cancel culture today, it is so intertwined with the government. Like, it is not even countercultural. Like, it is like literally like when you came to the last election, I have never in my life seen more advertising, countercultural advertising that was state funded in my fucking life, man. I'm talking every NFL game that I watched. I'm talking every other fucking commercial was talking about some kind of like cause. Never in my life have I seen more countercultural advertising than over the last election. And that was very much so a planned thing, right? But same time, you know, I guess the market decided who was the president. If you believe in that sort of thing. But for me, I'm just fuck both of them. Fuck all of them.
Fuck all of them. Yeah.
They're all pieces of shit.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, Donald Trump has a sex tape. You know that's out there somewhere. So
I don't want to see it.
Absolutely don't want to see that, but like it exists.
It exists.
For sure. You don't think Biden for sure smashed fucking Nancy Pelosi or some shit? Like for sure. You know, they was fucking so
Dianne Feinstein.
Oh, dude, you know that was happening. You know, how do you think he facilitated half the fucking wars, half the blood that he?
Oh my god, I can't. I'm never gonna get that image out of my head. Dianne Feinstein and Joe Biden. Oh my god. Yeah, I think that like to the point that's been made a couple of times of like this is something that's not really been done enough at all. Like. The emo scene is I completely agree with you. It's like ripe for the taking. But there's like a bunch of other kind of similar things. And you know, I just had Dave Smith on a couple weeks ago and talking about basically this exact same conversation but with comedy of like why was George Carlin not invited to like perform at the National Convention in '88?
Right.
Alongside like when we nominated Ron Paul. Could you imagine like George Carlin and Ron Paul on a stage together in '88? Like
no, yeah.
Would have been lit.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that.
No.
And like consistently for 20 years we haven't done that. And
no, well, the Libertarian Party is just like we're bureaucratic fucks. That's what we are.
I don't know cuz I think there's just this idea of like you're either political or you're not political. You're either in the party or you're an activist or an entrepreneur or something else. And even like I have so many friends that were in the party and are now out here and they're like anti-party, and it's like
right.
No, be out here and still vote for these guys, push people towards these guys, tell people about these guys, but be over here. Like that's how it actually works. It's not one or the other. It's focus on one while pushing everything you can towards the other. And then vice versa. If the party was actually talking about things like the 10th Amendment Center or the Firearms Policy Coalition or any of these other groups, I've never seen any LP account tweet about the 10th Amendment Center.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Let alone like actually like come alongside them and try to do something with them. Never once.
No.
I mean, I don't think they could do anything like official together because, you know, like laws and shit. But like absolutely nothing working together. And even I was ranting the other day about Decrim California. Like there was a petition going around California in 2021,
2022, to decriminalize psilocybin mushrooms in the state of California. And the LP had absolutely nothing to do with
presence,
that.
no presence whatsoever.
Presence,
Yeah.
even a little.
I'm friends with a lot of people who are part of that movement out in California still to this day from when I lived there. And it is a fucking shame. Even the state party didn't really get that involved. I mean, Mimi Robson was the state chair for a while, and she was involved with the Decrim Nature movement. But I don't think the state party ever really took part in it. I mean, I think it's just too bureaucratic, possibly. But at the same time, dude, we're talking about a political party that at the last election got 1.2% of the fucking vote, dude. 1.2% of the vote. And this election, we're going to be grasping at everything we can to get 1.2% of the vote. Because there's an independent candidate that is significantly stronger. Two independent candidates that are significantly stronger than anything that the Libertarian Party can offer. But truthfully, like, we need to like take this shit very seriously and maybe consider a little bit of pragmatism. I'm not saying like bend the knee with communists or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we need to be a little bit fucking pragmatic about this.
Communists.
Oh, well, I mean,
say that.
I like AnComs.
Yeah.
But like we can argue about the differences when we get there, but we have too many fucking government employees. We're not going to get there anytime soon. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean I was a part of the Pragmatist Caucus for a reason. Like I'm a big fan of radical pragmatism. Like that actually like used to be the intro for the show was an ad that I called pragmatic or like a radical pragmatism that had like the longest clip in the intro was Scott Horton rant.
Nice.
About where he goes, we need a pragmatic radicalism, not this stupid shit, like smart shit, but radical.
Yeah.
And it's like that, and that's what a good chunk of the Prag Caucus actually believed in. They were just drowned out by the idiots.
Truthfully, man, like a lot of the caucuses do divide the party into separate factions, and like they'll disagree on like messaging, stuff like that, whatever. There's literally like only one caucus that can unite the party, and it's the caucus that has the emo kids, man. I mean, the Emo Caucus is literally the only chance the LP has at victory. So that is why, as of today, I am going to facilitate the takeover of the Libertarian Party from the Emo Caucus. We're already partially there. Karen Ann Harlows is an emo.
True.
And she's already on the board.
Yeah.
So we're going to take over the Libertarian Party with the Emo Caucus. That's the only chance that we have for libertarian unity. So
# Liberty Unity will rise again.
Yeah.
I honestly I think so. There's like the joke caucuses, right? And then there's the category that I like is like somewhere in between, where they're like serious caucus but not doing the internal shit.
I consider the Emo Caucus a coalition caucus. I think it's a coalition, to be honest with you, because like I am like putting together like a street team. I'm gonna like basically have a street team of people who are willing to go out to concerts and stuff and just like hand out business cards or flyers. Basically, like, join the white pill emo revolution. Your life.
Do you know
matters.
Ben Heckman?
Yeah, of course. Like
Okay.
I was just texting him today, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Ben
good.
Arcus.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite humans. So like, definitely, I would love to see him. I mean, he rage quit the party, but maybe we can bring him back.
He's gonna help me with my sheriff campaign next year. He was telling me today. So
nice.
Yeah.
Good. Maybe we can. His stint as a Republican can be short lived. Fuck, where was I going with that? I actually had a point and I don't remember.
It's all good.
Man.
It's all good.
I'm White Claw wasted.
Let's just like go back to the whole like Hawthorne Heights thing. I guess Yeah,
Pause
so
4 minutes, all the way back. Rewind an hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah.
Fuck. No, I mean, whatever. I had a follow up.
No worries,
but
bro.
I think that one of the things that the party's been missing for a long time is like interesting shit.
Yeah.
To do that's not necessarily political.
Right.
And like that kind of speaks more to like an organized movement that's greater than the party, where the party is like picking up. In my opinion, the politics only makes sense to pragmatic people. Like if you're not a pragmatist, then electoral politics is dumb. I'm becoming less and less of a pragmatist, and that's why I don't actively participate in electoral politics anymore. I do like FSM and You Are the Power and a couple of other things that like I haven't been a part of a campaign in over 2 years. But there is a bunch of people who still believe in that system, and so a pragmatic message to them from a party makes sense. But then we can have all of the other messages from all of these other PACs and organizations and everything, and all of that culminates around like actually just doing things that are interesting.
Yeah.
And so like a couple of concerts, music festivals, and like comedy festivals. Like I mean, Skankfest I think is like kind of a great like if like a liberty themed, like specifically like geared towards making money and getting like email lists and like people involved in like a specifically driven towards the liberty movement version of Skankfest would be fucking awesome. And like similarly with they do this thing in New York every year where like to get tickets to this music festival you have to like there's a bunch of things that you can do to like earn like coins basically.
Okay, like
this,
tokens.
And like writing a letter to your congressman about like something like gets you like 3 coins and whatever, and like if you get enough you can buy a ticket to the music festival and like or like enter like drawings for like VIP tickets and all this other stuff. But it's like literally gamified, like do good things and get rewarded with a fucking amazing music festival. Like Beyonce and Jay-Z are both always there.
I think like that is a like I get where you're kind of going with that. Like the party is just bureaucratic. This is literally what this is. It's bureaucratic nonsense. Stuff that we all don't really believe in or agree with.
But it has to be.
It has to be.
Function
Sure.
As a political party.
So but like
shit.
we're lacking the fun side of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm getting at. Like we are definitely lacking an atmosphere that encourages people to even take part of it, to be honest with you. Like people like look at this stuff and internal fighting and they're just disgusted. They don't want anything to do with it. But if they could have like somewhere to go where they can just like take a break for a little bit, maybe like not talk about the politics side of it, and just maybe enjoy some fucking music or some pro wrestling or some fucking Waffle House. Like let's just let's be real about it. Like it doesn't always have to be party politics. It doesn't. And that is definitely something that we're lacking as a party. There will not be libertarian unity until the Emo Caucus takes over the Libertarian Party. So that's the truth.
I agree. So tell people how they can get involved with the caucus, with the campaign. What do you need from people? How can they find you?
Find me on Twitter at the Emo AnCap. Also, Facebook. Our Facebook group is just the Libertarian Party Emo Caucus. There's a Facebook page as well and a Twitter account called the Libertarian Party Emo Caucus. Definitely check us out there. Give us a follow. Other than that, we are planning to go to probably like 10 state conventions or so, maybe 15. And I'm gonna be DJing some emo nights in each city, each of those nights that those are happening. So get in touch with me if you want me to come to your town, and I will try to make that happen. So
Fuck yeah.
definitely check out the Facebook. It's should be in the description. Go join the group, follow along. This is going to be a super fucking fun campaign and a super fun caucus and movement, and I'm really excited about this. And then come on back. We should be doing a special time and place and date episode. It's either going to be Friday or Saturday with Lars Mapstead over the weekend, another in person, and then next week, Angelo Veltri, founder of Save Long Island PAC, is going to be on, also possibly an in-person. We're like on a trend here, which I'm loving. But come on back next week, follow all the things, tip us in the thingamajiggy, and subscribe. And until then, keep up the fight.
Yee.